All right, well, we're an hour and a half in. Reckon I've got 20 odd pound. It's fishing funny, to be honest. Catch the odd one. So far, best has been fishing casters. Sort of at about 2 foot deep. I've been feeding, dropping a few bits of bobs down there, and I've had the odd swell, but I'm completely ignoring it. I've been feeding quite heavy on pellets to my left, hoping that I'll catch a few on the deck a bit later on. But get the odd roach, but you see a group of carp, they swim past and then just completely shy away from the bait. So changed the temperature, I think, last night, but they were catching the odd one doing this, just little light rig, 2 foot deep, holding it out there. Some of the bites, tiny little dinks. And a couple of F1s doing it, mainly stockies. Now everywhere I look I can see carp just below the surface. You start chasing them about and they seem to just shy straight away from the bait, so sort of sitting waiting really. And there's a ghosty just below the surface there. Another little dink. As I say, getting the odd roach as well. Just trying to be a little bit careful, doing what I'm doing on this line. There's a little dink. Still early days, of course. I haven't gone any further than 13 metres at the moment. Don't feel the need to. Every now and again I'll go to 14 and just drop it in. See if there's a couple fish hanging back. Wind's been a bit of an arse because it doesn't really seem like it's windy. All of a sudden you get a gust and everything goes everywhere like that. Just missed the bite as well. Just suddenly it's quite strong. Doesn't look it, but I've tried little slapper rig, which is what I started on, and I've won on it, but you know, since the first one that I caught. But normally when they're proper having a go, you know, slap fish on. There we go. Oh, that's just a little roach. Look, roach in the Mickey fin. Better be lucky than good. Oh, well, that one's gone back. I'm not fussed. If I was fishing for silvers, I would be. But yeah, there's a lot of carp out there. Just being a bit weird, to be honest. I'm hoping that the pellet on the deck line will come good. Just nicking what I can. Oh, there you go. Just nicking what I can. I'll have another go flapping in a minute. They just seem to come in little groups. You'll so you get one or two and then you have to wait again. But because they're skitting about a bit, I have foul hook too. Try changing depth, it doesn't make any difference. So they just almost feel like they're coming into the feed, skitting about a bit as well. You know, there's one move there was I put the pole in. Little dink. You have to wear everything because they're just, some of the bites are just tiny little dinks. And other times the elastic will come flying out. think. There's that big old ghosty there at the back. Another roach, that's annoying. If that carries on, we have to go back on the pellet. Cast is still good, so I'll stick with it. few leaves start to fall off the trees now, that's a sign. As it get colder. I keep seeing fish slightly longer now, so I'm starting to think I might have to go longer. There you go, straight away. When they're there, it's lovely. Well, it's not fair hooked. I do pull a bit, and they're not that big. Is the zero ball, 10 to 12. I love this elastic for this sort of fishing. Like I said before, I don't like fishing really heavy elastics. I think you foul it or pull out of more fish. That's a better fish. Knocking on £4, I'd say. We're going to carry on doing this because it seems to be the best at the moment. I keep feeding the pellet line. Isn't very good. Some casters seem to go on the band nice and easy. Other ones don't. Just make sure it sits nice and central. Gonna feed a pellet line. Seems quite a lot, I know, but there are a lot of carp in here. When they start munching, that'll soon disappear. Trying to feed shorter rather than longer. Don't want them going all over the far side if I can help it. Don't want to chase them about. Be a bit different if every peg was in. Then you'd probably have to change a little bit and go longer. As I said before, when you go over, you've got to go tight to the bank to get any shallow water. And that's over 16 in this peg. And you know, you can only fish 16, so it's just pointless trying to struggle with long lines and stuff. So if I do go long, I'll fish 0.4 or 0.5 rig, so it's straight down, avoid liners. Either that or you just fish it shallow, just flicking a rig, because you just foul out too many fish if you try and do anything else. I think it's getting a bit clearer now. You're hooking a fish and then the other's spooking away a bit. Definitely think they're a little bit pole shy today. That's why I think the little slapping rig need a longer line. So I've got a slightly longer line on mine today. Just flicking it out again, hold it. Don't leave it too long at dead depth. It just, I think sometimes they grab it as it's moving through the water. If it sits there too long, I think they think, what's wrong with that? So I do move my rig around a lot when I'm doing this. Like I said, I'm no professional angler. I just get out when I can. Part of the Blake's team. I sort of started it off really long time ago. I was making a few mixes and always said that I can only do so much. You need some high profile anglers for it to go up a level, and luckily enough we were fortunate enough to get Mr. Andy Bennett and Paul Holland on board, and boom, the rest is history really. Excuse my talking with a catapult in my mouth. So yeah, and now what we've done, Christian Jones and some other anglers as well. Brilliant. So I sit in the sort of slightly back room category these days. This is fine by me. See fish moving around out there. And we'll try the other rig again now in a minute, just slap it just to see. This one just come up over where the pellet line was. Could be that these are liners now because they've come shallower. Ugh, wind is awkward. It's not that bad, but it's annoying. Lots of little tiny dinks and signs, so there's definitely fish out there. Thing is not to panic, do anything silly. And what's going on over there? Stitch standing up. Now I'm gonna give it another couple of goes, then I'm gonna try shallower again. So I've got no idea who's catching what. All I know, they're all emptying it. But I would always like to judge it, saying how everybody else is doing on how well it's fishing. This is the work, not the best bit for carp, so I get a funny feeling today's not going to be brilliant for everybody. So I'm hoping to catch down that edge. Can really build a weight quickly if they come to that shallow water. Literally a top kit. As I say, I've seen one swirl. It's too early yet, but I'm not putting much feed down there, just a bit. So you turn the camera on and then get a bite. Typical. There's a big fish just below the surface there. Oh, I think they could be roach now. There's a big old fish there that they're the edge fish. They're the ones you want to come into the edge. Alright, that's a bit weird now. That's about 3 bites I've missed out. I'm wondering if they are actually carp and F1s or roach. Difficult to tell because, as I say, the bites have been very similar to, there's been little dinks. You have to have a go. But I think now I need to change my rig shallow this one up. I'm going to shallow this one up just. Yeah, roach. Right. Tonight might need another shot on there in a minute. Just holding the rig up a little bit, letting the last and the hook length feel nice and slowly. A little lift. Probably hit that. It could be a skimmer. It's all gone a bit funny now. It always does. This canal can switch on and off. A bit like a light switch sometimes. You're catching a fish or chat and all of a sudden it zonk. No signs at all at the moment. It's a little tiny lift. We put a number 11 on this, just below the float, I think, just to get it a little bit lower in the water. But it's interesting. Not a sniff. Oh, there we go. There's a bite. Just a little stocky, but exactly what I was expecting to catch over the pellets. Smaller fish on the bottom. They're little buggers as well because they just go round and round and round and round and round and round and round. They give you more grief than the bigger fish. It's a fish. I want to sign off again for a bit, save the battery, and I want to come back when something interesting happens. Right, we're back. Not much further, 12:38, so it's over 2 hours in. Stepped up the feed a little bit on my caster line, and that's 3 and 3 puttings. Just doing nothing different, just the same thing. And been good little run. But now I'll turn the camera on. I expect I won't get one now. Sun's come out. That'll probably make it change again. it was cloudy just now. That's when I had a little run. But just literally slapping that rig over and holding it. The sun's gone in, see what happens. But it is the same old, you know, you suddenly get a little run, and it's the way it is on here. Not big fish, no, two pounders. Terrible. Typical, isn't it? Literally. Before I switched the camera on, 3 and 3 pins. I thought, here we go, turn the camera back on. A few more fish milling around again now. It's interesting today because of when I've gone on the deck, not had a bite. Well, one bite. But obviously all up. It's unbelievable, that is. Or might win a roach. So it's first time I've sort of filmed myself really. Just thought I'd give it a go. There's the one went for my float, you know, and it tells you that you need to go shallower. I will try that quickly. Slightly longer line maybe, but as soon as I put a little slappy rig on, I don't seem to get a bite. So there we go. So I'm going to shallow up a little bit. That's why I like this zero ball, because it's quite forgiving. As I say, they're not great big fish, but they do pull. Sometimes you hit these fish and you think, oh, decent fish, and then if you get it across, you think no. Start darting around everywhere. These are the ones that tend to do you in your net. There we go. I reckon I've got 37 in that net now. Well, there's 2 hours to go now. Yeah, I've got about £55. Rumour has it that's quite good. The shallow line's just gone on me. I'm having to now go on the deck on hard pellets across. I have just fed my edge, both sides. That one is it's the same depth as I'm fishing at 13 metres, so I don't hold too much hope out for that. It's a bit weird, it just suddenly went, had a little steady run and then it just died on me. But I don't think it's been fishing brilliant from what I can tell. Mickey O'Brien's only's got about £40, but knowing him, that'd be nearer 50. There's a case of plodding away now, trying to put some fish in the net and hope to get a few fish coming down the edge. I keep pinging casters. I feel like that's gone. So I'm just sort of sitting waiting a little bit now for bites on the longer line, which are smaller fish when you get one, stockies, pound and a half, but just trying to put some fish in the net really. That's the main thing. This fish is quite funny really. Getting lots of indications, little taps and knocks, and it's weird. And you shallow up and try a shallow rig, then you try snapping a rig, then you go on a deck again and you nick one or two, then it goes funny again. The interesting thing is I've not had one bite fishing a caster on the deck where I've been pinging casters on my shallow line. Not one bite. So strange. So we'll see, we're just plodding away. Just thought I'd do an update. Well, wind's getting a bit dodgy now as well. But throat's sticking up a bit all of a sudden. I don't know what's going on there. That's the wind. So yeah, just sitting waiting a bit longer now for bites. This is where this pegs doesn't fade away at these 40s, sort of 43 to 47. They're not the best, but don't know why. I think, to be fair, I think a match has been won off every peg on this canal, so you never know. But yeah, just getting little signs of fish now. I just feel there could be roach on the bottom. Pellets are off on that. I'm not seeing any signs down that edge. I did see one little swirl, one swirl earlier, and then that was it. Nothing. So we'll see whether that happens or not. So I've been throwing some pellets down to my left, but it's the same depth there as it is. In fact, it's a little bit deeper there than it is across. But we'll give this a little bit longer and then try to see what that Mickey O'Brien's up to. Now I know Mick, he'll suddenly start catching great big lumps down the edge. Fair play to him. Yeah, I just had a couple. Well, I slapped my rig. Well, that was the last 2 fish I had, but that was a little while ago. So I then went on the deck and caught a couple of stockies. So I'm just feeling my way again, really. That's a little sign, but they're just little tiny dinks and things now. It's funny, it just seems to have gone all funny. But for a little while this morning, I thought, oh, might have a bit of a bag up sesh today. But it soon, it wasn't to be. I'm feeding top kits in a minute, that wing gets up, tighten it. I'm glad I fed that pellet line now because it's given me somewhere else to go. Sometimes I don't like doing it sometimes because you're sort of splitting your fish, but sometimes one works better than the other, or sometimes you'll start on one and then for some reason they decide to switch to pellets and you can catch over the pellet line, so edging your bet, so to speak. Cut down the feed a little bit now on this line. Just trying to coax some fish into the peg. Might have to put a cap on in a minute and start tapping. Wind keeps up. Try and keep the fish right where I want them. Well, going like this, we won't be doing this much longer either. Pointless fishing a long rig if you can't hold it. The wind's been swirling about all day today and won't make its mind up. That's one there on the bottom on pellets. It was like a slightly better fish actually. You never know with these little stockies. I think you've got a bigger fish and then you get it in and it's not. Just fight like mad. Well, I think this might be a little bit bigger. I'm going to break down on this. Those not foul looks actually. But it's definitely getting windy all of a sudden. Sort the top kits out before they all blow in. It's not bigger, but it's decent fish. Not a great big one, but very welcome. Slide down. Find me this gorger. That's another 2.5 pound. Just going to put this up and sort these top kits up for they blow right across the lake. We don't want that. Well, I thought Joyce is watching this, he'd love it. And Ian Dixon. So, hold on. Keep on blabbering for another few minutes and then turn it off again, and we'll have another little update towards the end of the match. If we've had any arrivals down that edge. Decide where I'm going to carry on feeding that caster line, I don't know. I've been pinging a few there, but felt like all I was going to catch was roach. That's all I was catching was roach, to be fair. Let's see what this wind does, because it's swelled round the other way again now, so it just doesn't make its mind up. It's interesting, when I did cook that fish, a few fish did seem to scatter from around my float, so it tells me they're still coming up for the bait. But you go out shallow, you don't get a bite. Getting crafty is what it is. I realise on my little microphone I've lost me wind protector. Yeah, so these little signs. Which makes me feel like that little signs from fish it up in the water rather than feeding that a little bit more carefully now. Tree's me marker. There's a little dink then. I might have to put a shallow rig out there again by the looks of it. I'm not going to feed casters in this spring because they're going to go absolutely everywhere. I did think about it. See, another thing. It's interesting. Holding it up, lowering it down. Might try my half depth rig there with a pellet on. Just gonna push that up just a little bit up the shelf. It's more or less the same depth. A couple of inches might make a difference. Oh, there's a sign straight away. Stop myself from feeding then. I'm going to feed too much since I'm trying to catch them on the bottom now rather than they're quite heavy earlier on, so there's a lot of bait in there. See fish just mooching around below the surface again there. I don't think they know what they want to do. Yeah, another sign. That's to go try a shallow rig again, I think. So the best rig for a while was my caster rig, fishing little 4x10 rig with little 10 strung out, little stots or cubes, and an 18 SLWG banded caster. That's what I've had most of my fish on, to be fair. But now it's all gone a bit weird. So I'm going to try it half depth over on this line. It's definitely changing. The wind's making it hard. There we go. That's weight a bit, but it's a fish. That's the thing, isn't it? I know it's only a little stocky, but it'll be a pound. Or maybe not. Probably a pound just. So I'm going to sign off again now for a bit and come back again towards the last hour. See if anything changes a little bit.